In March, Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw announced the postponement of the Common Entrance Examination, as well as training for teachers in the e-learning platform. Today we have with us Herbert Gittens, and he will be wearing two hats as principal of the Wesley Hall Junior School and the General Secretary of the Barbados Union of Teachers. Thank you so much, Mr. Gittens, for joining us here today.
Thank you, Kobie.
Great. So we're going to start by asking, what is G Suite for Education?
Right. I think my understanding of it, it is an online platform which can be utilized by teachers and other persons to do, let's say, distance learning, online learning, and that is what is being used. I can't go into a lot about the software and all of that, but it is an online platform that can be used for this kind of distance learning which wouldn't involve contact learning.
And how has the response been so far from your union members as to the rollout?
Well, I believe that as you recognize, school ended abruptly. And I believe the reason that we are where we are now is because this was something that the ministry would have been working on at the time. It was something that they were trying to introduce generally in all of the schools. But given the abrupt ending of the term and so on, did not lend itself for teachers to get all of the training and all of that. Actually, the week that school closed, the information technology coordinators were actually ongoing training at the time, because the information technology coordinators are the persons who would then come back to the schools and do the internal training for members of staff. So a lot of that, in some cases for schools, they did not get to have that because with COVID-19, the abrupt nature, everybody had to go into the quarantine lockdown situation, and that didn't happen the way that it was intended to happen.
And that was at the end of the semester, but now we've had about 2 weeks vacation, and school is supposed to start back this week. Would there have been ongoing training then with teachers over those period of times, whether virtually, to bring them up to speed on the use of the program?
Right. The ministry, for those ITCs who would have received training, they were to obviously do the online training with their staff, and then the ministry, using their personnel from their information technology department, they did some online training for teachers. The problem with that is that each training that was only accommodating like 25 to 30 persons. And given the massive number, probably about 3,000 teachers or so in the system, within that 2 week span, with, let's say, within 1 week span, they did not to train everybody, teachers who did not be on the training line for this week. That training, my understanding is that training was suspended this week. So a lot of the training that is going on now happened. The ITCs are assistant members of staff, and then the staff themselves are utilizing like YouTube videos, and they're helping one another to get on board.
Okay, and switching our attention now from the teachers a little bit to the students. As a principal, you know there are some children at school who may fall into the less fortunate bracket. Some may not have running water or accommodation or even suitable conditions for life at home. And we're asking them to move on now to an online platform. Has there been any accommodation made for those children who may not be up to the comfort of some other persons that may have the technology to access the online e-learning?
In terms of the home conditions, right, in terms of the home situation, there's a lot that we as principals or teachers can do that of it. What is recognized that there's situations where students don't have devices, where there may be challenges, as you mentioned, with the home condition, maybe with electricity, with connectivity, and that is recognized by the ministry. And what they would have done, they would have asked us if we had the information readily available, or in some cases, we provided, given what we know about our students, the principals provided some information that it's, to me, would be fairly close to what the reality is, and supplied it to the ministry so that they can look to try to assist in areas like with connectivity and devices. One of the problems that the minister would have mentioned in a meeting that I attended is that they would have to seek devices, but the lockdown is not only a Barbadian situation. So like assessing devices and so on at this time, even locally and internationally, is challenging. But that's something that they have taken on board and they're working on to solve, so that students who would be looking to get into the Google Classroom and who don't have devices, that they can find a way to supply them with devices. But there obviously is going to be a big challenge with the whole thing about connectivity. Who has devices, who has connectivity, and that's something that is going to run not only in terms of children, but maybe in some instances for teachers.
But in your estimation, is it a big problem? Are you satisfied with the response so far? So in terms of like, we made this mention, but is it like a vast majority of students that you are seeing having this problem with connectivity or devices are below that certain bracket? And are you satisfied with what?
If I can speak in relation to my school, we have not been in contact with every parent as yet. But from my school point of view, I didn't have a lot of responses which indicated that there was a large amount of students without connectivity. As I said, I don't have all the information available. I can't speak for like all the other schools, what they will have. But from my school, I don't think it's a big issue as yet, but we don't have all of the information available because we are still working to reach some of the parents and so on as well. Okay. So we did in our estimate, we did an estimate for our school, because we are still trying, because at times you would have contacts, and when you go to use them, the numbers have changed and so on. But what I'm saying, and I say this to my staff, is that look, this is the time when school will generally start back. So I expect parents to get some awareness, and they in turn will start contacting us. Mm-hmm. So then we will have, when they start contacting us, then I've been getting since the week has started, parents have been contacting me and calling me. They have not received information, so we have been sharing as the week goes ahead.
So as a principal then, and as a member of the union, are you generally satisfied that there is a plan overall to continue the learning and to be able to reach out to those who will be less fortunate?
Yeah, we're trying where we can assist, where we know that there are challenges. If we can assist, we are willing, and I know that all my colleagues who are principals in the schools would be willing to assist. And as I said, the ministry is aware of the challenges, and they're to put in things in place to assist as well.
Okay, so let's turn our attention now to the common entrance examination. Easter is normally a time for preparation where you would have done some extra work with the class 4s to get them ready for that examination time, but the island was under curfew. What kind of communication has the school been having with parents and teachers to help prepare for the common entrance examination, even at its tentative date now of June 2nd?
Well, I don't think that there was a lot of communication happening during the last 2 weeks. As I said, the school ended abruptly. And what happened, it was like the second last week, the penultimate week, before school would have ended. But it was like off guard. What happened in the 2 weeks after school ended, is that teachers spent a lot of time rounding off the end of term activities, they were still correcting papers and grading scripts and so on. Then they would have had to work in open emails to enter the data, then to generate reports. And then, given that we were home then, we were now at the stage where we were now setting up the classrooms, teachers being aware of how to work in the classrooms. Then we had to The email addresses were created for every student. So every student in each school now will have a personal email address. And we were getting the reports out to those addresses. And then the teachers were working, trying to reach parents to tell them, like, this is where you can log in to access your report. This is the forum that when you get into your Gmail there, this is where you would enter the classroom. This is what we will be using. Teachers have been trying out the Google Classrooms and so on. Some of them would have been sending stuff to students, for students to respond. So a lot of time was spent in the vacation. Even though it was vacation, teachers were trying to get the system up and running. And that might not be so for all, but teachers have been trying to work in the system. Because this is COVID-19. This is unprecedented, and all of us are going to try to work and give it a shot because we want to reach the children where we can reach the children. So now that we are back in and school is ready, I know a lot of parents are thinking common entrance, but the Ministry of Education would have set a tentative date. I think it was June 2nd. I think they're now saying that June 2nd may not be possible because if you're going down to May 3rd, it is, then if you don't open after May 3rd, then June 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, whichever, would not be possible. So you may be looking at a date now way down at the end of June, and then that is still fluid because we don't know how the situation with COVID-19 will develop. So it's a wait and see game, and things are changing every day, and the situation is changing every day. So however, though, I still believe that whenever it is time for us to get back, that these children will still need that time with the teachers. So to get that last minute kind of preparation to round off stuff, to get them ready, those little pep talks, all those things are necessary before children go into to write such an important examination.
There be some kind of a midway point, for instance, if it can be that the exam can be held with more invigilators and fewer children in the classroom practicing social distancing. Has that been something that has been considered, or do you think that's not practical if this curfew drags on as it relates?
This is, are you looking at a situation where you mean everybody will write on the same day? You're looking at from that point of view?
I was asking in terms of, there are 30 children in the classroom, but spreading them out to maintain the social distancing. If that has been something that has been considered by even the union and the ministry, if this curfew drags on, are you guys just looking at just pushing it back until?
Well, in terms of what you're saying, union and ministry, we have not met as yet to discuss the matters as yet. And I know the union would probably have some positions to put, and I don't want to put a position on that for the union at this point because we haven't discussed it. But like, for example, you said 30 children, that is maybe at a school that got 30, but then there are schools like mine where I have 127 class 4s. So, and then it would all depend on what are they going to do in terms of children sitting if you're doing it in these conditions. Would it be the children remaining at their school, or are they going to the regular locations? Like, for example, where Wesley Hall will go to secondary school. Are you still doing that, or are you looking at a different setup? So there are a lot of things to consider before you determine. And then there are small schools and there are large schools. There are schools that have 30 children. As I said, like my school, I have 127. So there are a lot of things to look at and consider with whatever changes that are being considered. But it would have to be discussed and look at the best way that it can be implemented.
Okay, and finally, what positives do you see for education coming out of this challenging time with COVID-19 as it relates to even using technology or the way forward post-COVID-19?
Right, like in terms of the online teaching, this is new. And at the end of it, as I said, I think I said it to my staff, I said, teachers will learn, children will learn. And you know, a big thing of it, parents have to be involved. So parents are going to be richer and they will learn as well. So this is going to be good. It's a big positive coming of it. Everybody will learn. Because right now the teachers are learning all the technology and how to move around in Google Classroom and doing Google Docs, using Google Meet. This is a technology age that is happening for Barbados. The students, well, as you know, they catch on very quickly. When they finish, some of them are going to be very proficient in the use of technology and all this Google thing, and they may be even better than some of us. And the parents who are going to be very interested because they want their children to be involved, they are going to learn too. And they're going to become tech savvy in some way. So it's a big learning experience for everybody, and the country could only be richer after it.
Well, I just want to thank you very much, Mr. Gittens, for taking the time to have this interview with me, and it was very enlightening, and I'm pretty sure that our viewers will find it enlightening as well.
Thank you very much, and stay safe.